I would just say build a better deck.
It's a secret.
Hey, what's up, gang? It's only Adam, not Lowery. Wah, wah, wah. But it is a Secret Lair time. We're going to see how this works out with just one of us doing this. Lowery is still on vacation. He is out of the country, so there's no way he could be here. We wanted to get on top of this Secret Lair because, timing is everything with this. So basically, I'm just going to go through this and tell you if these are worth it and kind of just get my opinion. We don't have the back and forth that Lowery has. But I will say I have 6 Lowery buttons. So as long as in the comments, if you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, if I see it, I'll hit that button. Whatever number you're saying, those are the Lowery buttons, so it feels like he's here. As you can see, I put a picture of Lowery down below looking all mysterious and all that stuff. So for those that are new to this, haven't watched any of these videos yet, this is the Secret Lair drop. What I am going to do here is I'm going to go through all these Secret Lairs from the Marvel. As you can hear the X-Men stuff going on there. I'm going to go through each one of them. I'm going to give you a break point. I'm going to kind of tell you the whole value of what it is after shipping and everything like that. So kind of what I do there is take 15% off of what the total value is, because that's what it costs for the fees and all that if you put it on eBay or TCG. And then I add in what shipping costs generally for me for things, under 20, over 20, and kind of give you a rough estimate of how much it is. The break point, what that means is if it's a break point 2, it means that buying 2 of these will pay for itself. Just to give you a heads up, there is one break point 2. That's the highest you can get, meaning if you buy 2 of them, the other one pays for itself, and everything from that point forward is free money at that point. So if you're breakpoint 3, breakpoint 4, it just means that's how many you have to buy in order to break even, because we all want to have a copy for ourselves. So that's the whole point of this. Another thing really quick, mature timing when I'm giving you these prices, it's typically 10 to 16 months, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. It depends on the drop. Each drop is a little different, but that's kind of the rough estimate of the 10 to 16 months. So after the drop ends, people get it in the hands. Prices really dip. So a lot of these cards you're going to probably be able to pick up pretty cheap unless it sells out immediately. So that's kind of a little caveat to this. If it sells out immediately within an hour or 2 hours when it goes live on the 4th, then the prices can go up right away. So that's also the other thing there. So I think that's it. Yeah, so we're going to go through each one of these really quick before we go through all these, because this one does have new cards with it. So each one we have, Black Panther, we have Captain America, we have Wolverine, we have Storm, and Iron Man. Is that everybody? Yes. Those are all brand new cards. So the difference with that with Secret Lairs, card prices like Malort needs. Yeah, right. Exactly. Red Squirrel. So the hard part about that is you can't really compare it to what's out there because they're new cards. But I do want to give you an idea of other Secret Lairs where we have brand new cards to the drop. So we've had The Walking Dead, which was the very first one we got. That was released in fall of 2020. Currently, you can get that drop for $80. And just so you know, this drop is $40. So they bumped it up because it's kind of that crossover thing. I think that covers their fees with all that. I'm just guessing. So it's $40 for the non-foil, $50 for the foil versions of this. Again, this drops on November 4th, 11 a.m. Central Time. So just make sure you have that marking your calendars, because you need to be there right when you get in. I mean, you get in within 15 seconds and you're probably an hour wait. So you want to get in, get your stuff right away. Limited supply. And then we'll get to the other stuff here in a little bit. Okay, so back to what I was saying before. Walking Dead, fall of 2020, it's $80 right now. Stranger Things, fall of 2021, non-foil 63, foil is 90. That had 8 cards with it. Walking Dead had 9 cards with it. Street Fighter was winter of 2022, but it took us until summer to get those cards. That one's pretty cheap. That's at $55 for non-foil and $70 for foil. So again, all these are above what the price was for picking these up. And then the big guy, the D&D one, which this one was sold out pretty quick. That, or was it sold out, or it might have been a limited time? I think that one's sold out actually, if I remember right. But that was spring of 2023, so last year. The non-foils are $130 and the foils are $140. Okay, so the biggest difference with all of these, why is there a price variation with all these? These are, you know, the D&D only had 7 cards. The other ones had 9, 8, and 9. Why are they so much more expensive? Is because the cards in the D&D drop. I'm not talking about the ones that were reprints. These are the brand new cards. They're used in so many formats. They're used highly in Commander. I didn't go through and check the amount of decks, but I can tell you that the commanders in them and the cards in them have much more use than the other ones. Street Fighter was, it had hit or miss, but there's really just like Chun-Li. I love Blanca. Blanca's a great commander. I built that deck. So that's a very usable one there. Stranger Things was kind of like, you know, as partner ones with each other, and it really didn't work by themselves. So that's kind of a weird thing. And then The Walking Dead was used in other formats. So that's, I'm going to kind of go through each one of these and kind of give you an idea of what I think. It doesn't mean that that's what they're going to be, but what I think if they're usable commanders, like if these are going to be high or not. So, all right. That being said, let's get moving on this because I've already wasted, almost 10 minutes just talking about all that stuff. Again, these are going on the 4th, $40 for non-foil, $50 for foil, and they are rainbow foils. So I do want to add that in there. Rainbow foils do tend to look a lot better than the regular foils, and I noticed that there's a lot less curving. One other thing to add, every $199, let's see if I can show you that, $199 spent, you get the Arcane Signet, which is the Avengers, you know, headquarters and all that. I wonder if it's I didn't check to see if it was foil. I would guess it's foil. I'm not seeing on here. That's one thing I did not check, but I would assume that they are giving you a foil Arcane Signet because that is a very much a commander thing, and so it doesn't matter about the other formats using it and the curve and all that stuff. So that's a thing to note, and that's also why supplies last. So when we've had that before with Hatsumiku, the Seedborn Muses sold out really quick, so you're going to want to get on it. So it's another incentive to get in there right away. All right, so the first one on the list, we're going to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda King. So this is a white and a green, first strike 2/2. When this or another creature enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target land you control. Then you can tap 3, remove all 1/1 counters from that land, a particular land, and put it on one of your creatures. You gain the amount of life of the counters you move over, and you get to draw a card. So this is, I would say this is a really highly used, could be used commander, because not only do you have the playing the man lands, you can finally have a commander that's built on the man lands, but then you can actually use those counters. It could be a 1/1 counter deck. So this has a lot of use. You're in the white, you're in the green, the ones that really like the 1/1 counter effect. So you don't even need to necessarily do the Black Panther's ability to get the counters on stuff. But it's cool because you're just dropping creatures, putting counters on lands, which are going to be hard to destroy. So it's kind of, they're protected. Those counters are just sitting there waiting for you to use them. You know, plop it all on one land, a basic land. You could turn it, if you decide to go the man land route, you turn that land into a man land, boom, you attack and whatever. Or if they're already a land that you can flip over, you know, the other man lands, that's also nice there. So I think this one has a lot of use. I think this is one of the higher played commanders. So I actually have the value of this guy at the foil and non-foil, $20 and $30. So I think this one's this is probably the top 2. Just looking at my notes here. Probably top 2 of commanders I think that are going to be built with this, because I think this is a pretty sweet one. All right, so let's get into the reprints here. First one is Secure the Waste. That's a pretty decent card. What do we got for Secure the Waste? 54,000 EDH Rec Decks. I don't think it's going to have any value there. We're going to be at $5-10 at the most for foils and non-foils. Primal Vigor. This one did catch a Secret Lair printing, and that was in the D&D cartoon one that they had a while back. Not the one I was just talking about, but the cartoon one. That's in 61,000 EDH Rec Deck. So this is probably, I like this version better than the D&D one. It's just a lot cooler because it's Marvel. And then we got Heroic Intervention. Now, this is the big dog, I think, in this. We finally get, we have the Doctor Who one where we had a bunch of different versions of that. And then we had a full art one. That one is, I think this is our most value in it. Yeah, this is what I have locked in. 646,000 EDH rec decks. I've been kind of waiting for a good Heroic Intervention Secret Lair. So this one, I really dig this one. I think your non-foils are going to be 20. Your foils are probably going to be 30 plus. Again, this all depends on how fast this sucker sells out. So this is your home run out of this package here. Then we also got Karn's Bastion. This one's pretty sweet, full art, everything there. I'll give you this. I did buy spec on Karn's Bastion back in the day with foils, and I've been selling them here and there for about $10. So this one, it has a possibility of being $10 to $15 here. So I think this one's a good one there. And then we get a warrior token, which I'm not saying this one really stands out. Like, to me, when I see this warrior token, I'm not like, whoa, Wakanda or Black Panther. It looks like all the other warrior tokens, but it is going to be in foil, non-foil, depends on which one you get there. So I wouldn't give much value to your warrior token. But let's go through everything on this list. I already talked about the commander, so we're pretty good there. It seems like a pretty powerful one. When you look at the non-foil side of things, you get to a value of $70. And then if you take away the fees and all that, it's about $17 there, brings you down to 53. So this one actually only has a breakpoint of 5. Again, this is all based on what the base prices of everything. It could go higher based on how fast this sells out. So if this sells out quick, that price could go a lot higher. And maybe that Heroic Intervention's a little bit higher. Maybe Black Panther's higher than I thought. But that's just my personal opinion on that. Foil side of things, 105. So that's pretty decent. 105. When you get over 100, that's a good number right there. Minus fees, $27 there. Brings you down to $78 total value after shipping, fees, and all that. So that brings you to a breakpoint of 3. So you only need 3 of these in the foil to really break even. So this one's a pretty good one. I dig this. What do you think, Lowery?
I would just say build a better deck.
I got to hit a Lowery button. I got a bunch of them. So I got that one.
So this just makes it hard.
So Lowery talking about how hard he is. I also got the
Magical news.
that one, and then his moan. And then he struggles when he's sober.
I struggle when I'm sober.
And the last one.
Get the fuck
out. All right, so those are my Lowery buttons. Let's move on to the next one. Again, so you see they're $40 and $50. So that's how all these are going to be. Next one is Captain America First Avenger. Like how they I think they switched the mono symbols around a little bit because they have them in a different order normally when it's these 3. But they've made it so it's red, white, and blue, which is pretty dope there. All right, so we got a human soldier hero, 4/4. He has throw, which is tap 3, unattach an equipment from Captain America. It deals damage equal to that equipment's mono value. Urza's for life, RoboCop. I'll give you that for Lowery's Get the Fuck Out. Where is it? That one.
Get the fuck.
There you go.
Ow.
Then you can choose. You can divide the damage among 1, 2, or 3 targets. It doesn't say you have to do it evenly, so you could probably just do one. Like if it's, let's say it costs 5, you do 1 here, 2 there, 3 there. Kind of nice that you can, well, I said 5 and then I did 6 there, but whatever. Math, I can count. I think the coolest part here is at the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. So that Helm of the Host can finally attach. That's the pain in the ass with Helm of the Host is how much it costs to come out and how much it costs to attach. This just automatically attaches that. And then you can use it as, direct damage, spot removal a little bit there. I think this one's probably one of the better equipment commanders out there. So I put this one as a medium range. I think this one's going to get probably 3rd to most played. Yeah, probably 3rd is where I have this one kind of locked in. So probably $25 for your non-foil and foil. All right, let's check out the rest of the stuff in this drop. Pretty good here. We got Sigarda's Aid. This is being able, we know what Sigarda's Aid is. We did just get this in a Secret Lair with the cats and dogs one. So we have a good indication of how much the price is on that. What do I have the cats and dogs? Those are selling for 20 at non-foil and no. I guess I didn't put a price for Captain America. I forgot to put that in there. Ooh, my pricing is off then. 20, 40. This one's higher. I forgot to put the Captain America pricing in. I did everything else, but not the Captain America's thing. So we're going to add this up a little bit higher when we get to the end here. So this one, I have the Sigarda's Aid is 20 and the foils at 25. And like I said, the Cats and Dogs the Commander deck has that in it, and they are selling for $25. And those were the bonus. I think that was a bonus card that we didn't know that was in it. So that one was an interesting one there. Flawless Maneuver, fantastic card. Love this card. This is, I'm looking, Sigarda's Aid, by the way, 74,000 EDH Rec Decks. This is a 205,000 EDH Rec Decks. This one's some money there too. $15 for non-foil, 20 for foils. Then we have In the Trenches. Cool art. A card, Anthem Effect. I don't think we really have any value there, so I have them both at 5. And then our last one, which is an odd one. I like it. Shield of War and Peace. It's sort of War and Peace. So we're looking at 25 and 30 respectively. So, okay. Like I said, I forgot to add in the Captain America pricing. So give me a second. I'm grabbing my calculator right now. So I originally had it at 65 for the non-foil pricing, but we got to add $20 onto that. So we're at 85. We're going to times that by 0.15 to give us our 15%. I originally had 13. So we're looking at about $16 off of shipping and fees. So it brings us down to $69. Oh, yeah. So we're looking at a breakpoint of 3. Just going to write it in my notes. Breakpoint of 3, because all you need is 3 of these bad boys to break even, because you get 3. 69 times 2 gets you at 138. And if you take 40 times 3, it's 120. So there you go. That's a breakpoint 3. Let's jump over to the foil side of things. Again, I missed that we didn't have that in there, so I got to add $25 to value. Originally, I had 80. So now we're looking at the same as the other drop at 105. So again, that gives us a total value of 78 and a breakpoint of 3 as well. So both of these have been pretty good. Breakpoint 3s. I love breakpoint 3s. Breakpoint 2 is the best, obviously, but breakpoint 3 is that's good. Those are good drops. 4 is when you start to go, maybe I just want this one for the collection and maybe not trying to make money or whatever. I just need the collection thing. 5s is when you're just like, get it if you need it, but otherwise just skip on it. This one's a good one. Breakpoint 3 on both sides of it. Better than the first one. All right. Next one. Let's move down to Iron Man. Okay. So Iron Man, I think this one in particular, just me, my personal opinion, I think this is the weaker of the commanders. I think the cards that are in it are really good. I think this is just the weakest commander because it's a high casting cost. I like that he has the haste, so that does help a little bit, but the 5 CMC is a lot. And then whenever he attacks, you create a treasure token. Then you may sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1+. It's not equal to or less than. So you have to find something that's equal to that number. So if you sacrifice that treasure, you got to find something for 1, which you're getting your soul ring. So this one just seems like there's a lot of hoops to jump through, which could be fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is a bad commander. I'm just saying this one's not my favorite. So I think this one's on the bottom of the totem pole for me. And then you put it on the battlefield tapped and then you shuffle. So I have him probably around that $15 range. Foil probably around 20. But let's look at the other cards because this is what the big stuff is. Galvanic. All right, I got that button ready for me. Where is it? Where's my reading one? Dang it, I guess I moved away. Shoot. There's so many buttons. Whatever. Kid can't even read. That's what I meant to say. Galvanic Blast. I don't use this one, so this one is not part of my what do I want to say? Weapons for making my deck. So, but 1 drop, 2 damage to any target. You know what it does. It's not really worth anything. I have that at $5. It's in 12,000 EDH rec deck, so yeah, not used. But Commander's Plate is used quite a bit, and just like the drop above, It was in the Angels. Yeah, it was in the Angels Secret Lair Commander deck. So we know what the value of the foils are. Now, again, those sold out really fast, so the prices are a little bit higher. But those Commander plates are going for $50. So that tells you something there. This adds a little bit more when you have Iron Man added in here. So I think it could go higher than 50. I put it at 50 right now. And $30 for the non-foil. That's an 113,000 EDH Rec decks. And we got Soul Ring. Now, okay. There's a lot of Soul Rings. We get Soul Rings. How many Soul Rings do we get a year for Secret Lair? It feels like every other Superdrop has a Soul Ring. But the good ones go for a lot. So you can't really compare it to the Cats and Dogs one because that's a really good one with the flips. But those are $60. What do I have that? Cats and Dogs is 65. The Galaxy foils are 75. That's not even a year out. And those are at $75. So I think that's the top of the food chain on the Soul Rings. But this is going to be up there. So I put this at 40 plus for your foils, 20 for your non-foils. It could be higher, especially with the rainbow foiling. I think that will really shine. Iron Man's little thingy, whatever it's called. It doesn't even say what it is. I know Marvel. It is. I'm not uber nerd Marvel. I'm Marvel. I'll just say I'm nerd Marvel, not uber nerd. So I don't remember what the power source is called. So yeah, again, that's at 3.9 million. You can never go wrong with Soul Rings. They're just really good all around. Inventor's Fair, fantastic card. I'm glad we got it in a Secret Lair. That's 183,000 EDH Rec decks, 15 for non-foil, 25 for your foils, where I think that one's going to be at. And then we get a treasure. I think this one's a little bit above normal. The other token that we got, did it say it right on the flavor text? I was trying to read it. I built this. Oh, this arc reactor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nobody. I tried to quickly read it, and I just skipped over that first part. I was like, it doesn't say anything about what it is. So the treasure, I think this one actually will get some use, unlike the warrior token from Wakanda. I think this one could be a $5 to $10, or no, $5 to $10 for a treasure token. Could even be a little bit higher. I wonder if it's going to be a flip token. Sometimes they do that with these. At the moment, it doesn't look like it. They normally tell you, but it's just odd that they'd have a foil one of this and not have it on the other side. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so let's look at this. I already talked about the commander, so we're good there. Non-foil side of things, we're at $100 for non-foil. It's because our Commander's Plate, Soul Ring, Inventor's Fair, those are three really good cards that get used quite a bit. And so that brings that price way up there. After you take out fees, brings you down to 78. So that's a break point of 3. Let's look at the foil side of things. So foil, this is where it gets crazy. It's up to $155. This might be one of the highest just single drops that isn't like a commander, like the decks, the commander decks or anything like that. Just a single drop value of $155. You take away the fees, brings you down to $117. So this is easily a break point of 2. So really, it's that commander's plate that's basically holding up the entire drop by itself. And then these are just bonuses, and they're going to be used cards. Inventor's Fair is pretty sweet. I dig this one probably over the original Inventor's Fair, and it's a full art. Well, I definitely do. You got Iron Man right there. This is a pretty sweet Inventor's Fair, so I think it's going to be higher than what the other comparable one is. And then the Soul Ring, I think this is going to be on the upward curve of our Soul Rings with Secret Lair. So that one's a fantastic drop. All right, so now we get into probably my favorite part, because I am an X-Men nerd. All right, that's as much as I can play before I get pinged for that. All right, so my favorite character and why I got into, well, my major in college was meteorology, but Storm became my favorite because I was a meteorology nerd. So she's always been one of my favorite. I'll say the next one is actually my favorite superhero, but Storm was like, we got 1A and 1B is where it's at for this. So, and this one is the one that I think is the prime commander of it. I think this is number 1 for the commanders that are out there. Flying Vigilance, 3/4. We have green, blue, and red. Whenever Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery you cast this turn has Storm. This has a lot of range. I think you can, you're spell slinging it like crazy, but you can do a lot of different things, especially since it's 3 colors. This, I don't think we're going to all have the same decks. That's what I don't like with some commanders where it's like, all right, this is your focus. You're going this route with this deck. There's no variations or there's very little variations. This, I feel like, can have a lot of variations. You could focus on some, I mean, you're working with 3 colors. You can do so many things with this. And that the fact that it's giving Storm to things that you wouldn't normally have Storm just by having her deal damage, this seems really, really sick. And we have it in red, and I'm just kind of thinking this one out loud. We have it in the extra attack turn color. So we have a lot of things that could give her more attacks, and then you're able to Storm with more stuff. Like, this seems like it could be, this could get pretty silly. So I might build this one. This one seems pretty fun. All right, so we get down. We got Lightning Bolt. Oh, by the way, I think she's going to be 20 to 30. Maybe even higher, depending on how popular it is. I think it might be the most popular one. Lightning Bolt, 240,000 EDH rec decks. We have a lot of Secret Lairs that have Lightning Bolt, but none with Storm, so we got to add that in there. Comparing it to one of the ones I thought was pretty close was the Street Fighter one, and that one we didn't get a non-foil, but we did get foils, and those are sitting at 15. Oh, no, we did get non-foil. So the non-foils are at 12. The foils are at 15. That's silly. It's Storm with Time Warp. That's ridiculous. That's just crazy talk right there. But okay, so I will say this. All these cards, what I like about it is they have the commander, and then the spells work with it. Lowery and I have been talking about that we like when the drops work well with the commander. So we have a commander, and every spell that's in here works with that commander. So I really love that they did that here. Then we have Jessica's Will. I made a proxy of this bad boy. I guess I chose the wrong superhero because I went with Wanda because I was like, hey, WandaVision or Wanda, I'm doing WandaVision the show, but I used Wanda art because it was all in red and I thought it fit well. I think this works too with Storm. I love it. Jessica's Will. Jessica's Will's in 396,000 EDH rec decks. Non-foil side of things, we're at 30. Minimum price of this is 30. And you're looking at $40 for foil. Could go higher. Ice Storm. We have only seen this from the OG sets. Unlimited, beta, and alpha. So that's the only... Well, I know we got a collector printing in there. All of those printings, the lowest is $50. That's because it's super, super old from Unlimited, alpha, and beta, and then the collector's thing. So this is not going to be that price. It's cool. It's cool, especially in this deck. But it's only in 231 decks in EDH. So I don't think this is gonna pop it up a little bit, but it's not gonna go crazy with it. So I kept the price a little bit lower than that 50 at 15 to 20 is where I think this will fall in there. Again, depends how fast it sells out there. And then we got Morphos. This is in 21,000 EDH rec decks. I don't think this one really does much with the money wise, but it's still a sweet card in there. $5 a piece on that. All right, so we get to the value overall, the whole value. $82 for the entire thing. For non-foils, after you bring in fees and everything, $19 down, brings you down to $63. That's still a break point of 3. And that's me saying on the low end of things. I think this could go a lot higher than what I'm saying. I think this one's a break point 3 easily. Could be a break point of 2. If this sells out really quick. On the foil side of things, we're at $110. After you take away fees, drops you down to 83. So also a break point of 3. So this one's my favorite. Well, it's my favorite in that I like this one the most for commander wise. At the end, I'm going to tell you which one I think is the best one for value wise. So this is probably the one that I might actually try to build this commander. All right, our last one. Let's hit up my favorite superhero. A lot of people's favorites, except for one of my buddies is a big Cyclops guy. What a douche. All right, so Wolverine, best there is. I have this one on the lower end of things. I think this is a kind of, it's an interesting commander because he doubles all the damage that he would deal at the end of each end step. So not just yours. If it dealt damage to another creature, put a 1/1 counter on it, then it has regenerate. You don't get regeneration on new cards, but it makes sense to have it on Wolverine. Where I think this could be is What do you mean by breakpoint? Okay, so I'll remind the beginning. The beginning, I kind of explained breakpoint. I'm going to say it really quick again here. So when I say breakpoint 3, it means if you buy 3 of those, that's when you break even. Because I want to keep one for my collection. So that's how many it takes to buy in order to keep one for free. And then from that point forward, everything is profit. So that's what I mean by the breakpoint 3. And if you really want the breakdown, check out the beginning of the video or in the description below. I kind of break it down a little bit more. Check that out. And in a little bit after I'm done live here, I will have all the breakpoints of all of these, so you don't have to keep watching the video over and over again to hear what I say with the value and stuff. So I will get that uploaded later this evening, hopefully. If not this evening, by tomorrow. So, okay, back to Wolverine. How I think Wolverine could be built is this could be a fight commander. I mean, you could fight with everything because he is doing the damage. It's doubling the damage. You have built-in protection with the regeneration, or you could do some of the equipment stuff like that Thornbite staff where you're tapping to do 1 damage to stuff. It's really doing 2 damage. There seems like some interesting builds you could do with Wolverine. I like it. It just doesn't seem like the most powerful one out of the bunch here. Okay, so that being said, let's check out the new cards in this. Or not new cards, the reprints here. So we got Berserk, and we did get a Secret Lair of Berserk. I think we got the one. I think we only got the one. I think it was like a year and a half ago. And this is in 14,000 EDH rec decks. Love the art on this bad boy. 20 right now for those Berserks and 25 for the foil. So we have a good indication of what this one is going to be at. We have Rite of Passage. That one is only in 7,000 EDH rec decks. We do have a foil, but this is a really old set. This is really the only other printing that we got. And so that one, I think we're about 10 to 15 bucks for Rite of Passage. And then we have Rhythm of the Wild. Now this one is a little tougher to figure out because it gets used a lot. And we haven't had a special printing like this. It's in 238,000 EDH rec decks. I put it at 10 to 15 now. This one I might be pushing up to the 20 range because this gets used a crap ton. Is the best version. Like, you're going to want to use this if you're using Rhythm of the Wild. This is definitely the one that's going in your deck. It's just badass with Wolverine in there, with the wolves, all that stuff. Oh, yes. Thank you, Bill. Thanks for the reminder. If you guys are watching right now, please hit that like button. We do have some serial down thumbs persons, so you got to make sure that you guys hit that. They always do it. We get thumbs downers almost every video, unless we're really just that bad. I mean, maybe that's what it is too. So let me get a drink really here. All right, the big dog in this is the Ozolith. Let's get the Ozolith there. Adamantium bonding tank. So this one is in 160,000 EDH rec decks. It was just in the Lord of the Rings set, so that's a pretty good comparison to what this is. And those are at 40 bucks. 40 bucks for the minimum price of that. 50 plus for the foils. I put this at 50. Again, it's going to drop right away. All of these, when people get them in hand, they're going to tank and they're going to recover pretty dang quick, especially if this one sells out really quick. But the Ozolith, this is holding this whole drop down, this Wolverine drop right here. So, okay, that is the whole Wolverine drop. Let's get the pricing of all this. On the foil or non-foil side of things, we're at $95 with the Ozolith being the big dog. But Berserk is a pretty big card there as well at 20. That gets you down. So I said 95 brings you down $22 when you add in fees and shipping. And that brings you down to $73. Again, you just need to buy 3 of these to break even and get one for yourself and then that point forward. So we have a breakpoint 3 again. I love these breakpoint 3s, especially on the Marvel ones here. When we look at the foil side of things for this drop, we have 125, and that the wild card is that Ozolith. It's where is that Ozolith going to go? Is it going to go higher than the Lord of the Rings ones? Do you think that Ozolith is a better version of the Ozolith compared to the Lord of the Rings? If you do, then this is going to be higher than 50. If you don't, then maybe it's around that 50 or a little bit lower. But anyways, it's 125 minus fees, which was 30, brings you down to 95. Again, we're at a break point of 3. So all around, all these drops. I mean, our worst drop, what is our worst break points? I think it's a break point 3 across the board because I messed up on Captain America's break point. And we have the one break point 2. So this is a really, really solid drop. And I think it's mainly because of those commanders. I guess the wild cards are all the commanders. The new cards, we don't know where they're going to go, but Marvel is huge. I think this is going to be a big driver. I don't think this one's going to last very long. I bet you this is a sellout. I mean, it also depends on how many they print, but if it's following like the Hatsumiku stuff that we've gotten, I think these sell out within an hour, 2 max, or at least the first one will go down to that, especially since you get that arcane signet with it. Okay. That being said, I promised I would tell you which one. If I had to choose one of these.
In the common tongue, it says one
spec
to rule them all. One
spec
to find them.
This is the long button. One spec
to bring them all. And in the darkness, find them.
All right. Well, we don't have Lowery here to pick it out, so I will do Lowery's pick and my pick. If Lowery was here, I would guess Lowery would probably go with, I think Iron Man value-wise is the best one. Like I mentioned before, Iron Man has a total value, especially the foil side of things, at $155. I don't think we've ever done one of these where the value was that high. And that's the only one that's a break point too. Yes, the Commander I think is the weakest of the bunch, or tied for the weakest of the bunch. But the cards that are in it are really, really good. Commander's Plate, Soul Ring, and Inventor's Fair are 3 really big dogs in that. You can't go wrong with that. You're going to probably be able to sell Commander's Plate and get your money back. So that is probably what Lowery would pick. Or actually, I should say that's probably what I would pick because I'm based on finance-wise. If we had to do Lowery, what deck would I think Lowery would like the most? You know, I think he might go with Storm. I think he would like Storm the best. I like that as the Commander the best. And the value is there as well. We got that one up to 110 before all the fees and stuff. 83 down after fees. I think this one has a lot of value there as well. We have pretty big dogs in this with Jessica's Will. Lightning Bolt gets used quite a bit. Ice Storm's going to be the wild card. These 2 are wild cards. But I think the 3, including the Commander, are what is going to hold this one up. Jessica's Will is going to pay for the whole thing. Probably pretty close to it. But you add that with Storm, and it's an easy one. So those are the 2. I think if Lowery was here with me, Lowery would miss you. We'll see you next week on Monday. So a week from today, we will be doing the podcast again, back to our normal schedule. And Lowery will be back with us to join on that. So we look forward to doing that. So I'd like to hear which ones you guys are most excited for. I will be putting up a poll on the channel. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And again, if you haven't liked this video, please like the video now. That helps us out. Gets rid of that thumbs down serial people out there, serial thumbs downers. It really helps us out. That should do it, gang. You have a good one. We'll see you later. Bye. Hey gang, the best way to support the Commander Smiths is make sure you slap that like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our online store, commandersmiths.com, where we have metal tokens, mugs, t-shirts, playmats, and more.